Time.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if you've ever gone live on YouTube before. No. Okay. Well, this is the first time. Awesome. So basically, people join in throughout the interview, and then people come and watch later for the playback if they have more time.
Okay.
It's kind of an ongoing thing. It's kind of like a podcast episode in a sense.
Okay.
But a resource for us to have. So thank you for joining me first.
Of course.
I found you from searching on YouTube confidence. That's I was like confidence, and then I typed in uploaded within the last week, and you had just uploaded the video about confidence where you were just like free forming talking about it. And
wow.
I really like this Kristen girl. I want to bring her on because the whole series is like her confidence journey. So we're basically going to get into who you are, what your world is about, and how your confidence has changed over time. So,
Sounds fun.
all that to say, for anyone joining or listening, just give a snippet of who you are and like what you're about.
Okay. Yeah. Am I going to be able to see everything too, or no?
So I think there's an option where you can see the chat. I can pull up like comments and stuff.
Okay.
But again, you can do the replay and watch it later also after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So can you give a snippet of who you are and what you're about?
Yes. So my name is Kristen Williams. My middle name is Kristen Simone, and that was like the only name on YouTube that wasn't taken. Kristen Simone, yeah. I'll go by that. And so I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I graduated from UNC Charlotte. Go Niners. Woo! And I have plans to become a doctor. So I also ran track and field. So I love working out. It's a great stress reliever for me. It's an emotional outlet. I can say, I guess I've been through a lot. I lost my dad at the age of 21, and I was a daddy's girl. I mean, even if you weren't a daddy's girl, losing a parent at a young age is very, very, very hard, and it doesn't ever stop. But I have a loving family, and I have a brother and a sister. I'm the oldest out of all of them. And yes, I just love talking to people. I love motivating and encouraging people. And I know that I'm personable, and I have a good listening ear, and I love to just lift people up. And I love to bring confidence out of people, almost like hype them up, make them feel good about themselves, because you should feel good about yourself. You're here, everyone doesn't make it to this day. So that's pretty much a good gist of who I am. Yeah, awesome. Possible. I can talk and talk and talk. So I'm trying to keep
Well, I love that. And there's so many like avenues I want to dive into. But first, I think I want to just understand, like, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel? Like, what was it for you?
I wanted to help guide people and just like connect with people that want to go to medical school or want to go to PA school or just want to further their education. And I wanted to kind of just live my journey on camera. And I don't know if everyone knows, but, taking the MCAT and taking all these classes is super, super, super hard. And I've always been pretty smart, but the MCAT was a very nerve-wracking journey. And it was definitely chipping down at my confidence, I guess, if I put it that way. And it was very bad. The first experience was very, I don't want to say traumatic, but it really affected me a lot. And I was like, I know I'm not the only one that feels this way about this MCAT and all the other things that go along with medical school. So let me go ahead and just, create this YouTube and create a community and uplift, and also just sprinkle a little bit of who I am in the midst of it as well.
I love that. So one of the things, because I'm a confidence coach, and so what I love to see is similar to what you're saying. I love when I see women in their light, in their lane, owning what they're doing. And whether that's in a field that has a lot of women, like photography, or if you want to be a doctor where there's might not be as many women, where it's male dominated. And whatever the category, I just love to see women step into that and shine. And with your YouTube, I love that you're like, okay, that was really hard. Like that test was really hard. I know other people are going to experience this too. Maybe we could like find a community for each other.
Yeah.
And so I love that you actually decided to like you felt it, but then you're like, okay, let me do something about it. Let me actually like create a community and support, like for myself, but also for other people.
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I was watching your confidence video that you had uploaded, I just rewatched it again to get a refresher. You were talking about like your parents, how they influenced you when you were really, really little to have a confident mindset.
Yes.
And so I'd love to hear like from your own words, like what it was like for you growing up with your parents and how it shaped who you are now.
Yes. So I love that question. I have such great parents, and like the reason why I am who I am is because of how I was raised. It was because of my parents, and I'm so blessed. And I wish that when I become a mom, I wish that me and like my husband are half as great as the parents that I've had, because gosh, they instilled so many great values and morals in my life at such a young age, because I wasn't always confident. I used to be a people pleaser at a very young age. I don't really know where that came from, but I used to be. And it's funny because I was only 4 years old and I skipped a grade. I don't really like to say it, but I did. Because kindergarten is not really a grade, but I was 4 years old and I was in kindergarten and I knew everything. Like I was so bored in kindergarten. And Mom, I'm so bored. I want to take a nap. Like I want to go to sleep. I know all this stuff. And so they ended up moving me up. I had to take a test. They ended up moving me up. And so I was very young. Like I started first grade at like 4 years old. Like I was very young. And so I was around people that were older than me. And so I think that kind of shifted my confidence a little bit, because I don't know. I just felt like maybe people knew things because they've been in first grade longer than me. I mean, I had really jumped in the middle of the year, and so I think I was just kind of comparing it. I'm like, oh well, this guy's really smart. He answers all the math problems faster than me. Like he can get it faster than me, and I would go on and on and on and on. And I would tell my mom like all the time, like, Mom, he's so smart, like this and that. And so my mom would always say like, no, Kristen, like, but you're smart, like, but you're smart. And she would always just emphasize, no, Kristen, stop talking about him. Like, didn't you know the answer to you're smart? Mm-hmm. And so she constantly said that to me, like over and over and over. And it didn't really hit me until maybe a little bit along elementary school. But I was still shy. I don't really think I owned my confidence until I hit college. Mm-hmm. And I think that had to do with my dad as well, because my dad was such a great dad, and he's the reason why my standards are super high. Mm. And I don't know, I think he just taught me to expect the best and to be the best and to work for what you want. And I don't really, and I think also my life experiences helped increase my confidence as well, because I just really put in work as far as running track. I was a walk-on at UNC Charlotte. I really wanted to play basketball because my dad played professional basketball, but I really wanted to follow in his footsteps back in high school. But I really wasn't that good at basketball, so I tried track because I really had a good talent in track, but I just didn't want to do it. And I walked on at UNC Charlotte, and I made my way up to a really big scholarship, and I was captain of the team and this and that, a great like storybook story as far as track is concerned. I think that helped my confidence, and also me making good grades, me working for what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And just seeing it come to fruition every year really helped increase my confidence, and it helped me know like you can do whatever it is you put your mind to. And so that kind of boosted my confidence as well. So yeah, I didn't really step into that confidence until college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it sounds like your parents gave you the foundation. Like, no, like you're good. You're doing good too. Like, focus on yourself. And then when you got older, it sounds like you started developing the skills and the abilities. And like, I wrote a couple notes just from the video you did, just about how not only like did you believe that you could do things, which is confidence, but you also got the competence, like you developed the skill and reached the goals to be like, oh yeah, like I can do that because I've done that before, or I can do that because I've actually worked. And so you kind of like you're this balance of, yes, you believe in yourself, but you also do actually have the skill to back it up. It's not just like, I am everything, you know, like, no, I can actually do the things. Because you can dream of becoming a like Division I athlete, but some people never do, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's not their calling, maybe that's not where they're going, but you did the work as well. And with that, you've developed high standards, and confident people have high standards.
Yeah.
But basically, so your parents really shaped your mindset. And then when you were young, like 5 years old, you started seeing the world. Okay, I got to focus on me. I got to focus on what I'm doing. But so we jumped though from like 5 years old to college.
Yeah, we did.
What was life in here? What happened in here?
I think so throughout my whole like through elementary school and middle school and high school, I was around people that really didn't look like me. And that affects people in different ways. I think that I was kind of used to it because like I'm a people person. I'm not necessarily like just, one way with a certain group of people and another way. I'm a people person. So I really was just make whatever situation I was in, I'm going to make it work. So in high school, I was a part of, basketball, track, and even in middle school, I tried out for basketball. I didn't make it, but the next year I tried out again. I was just going to try new things and just, see what I was good at, see what I enjoyed, see what I liked. And then, that was it. As far as my confidence, I think that I was very, I was sensitive. Whenever like you're in middle school and you have to sit at the front of the bus because the 8th graders and 7th graders they want to sit in the back and, they bully you a little bit. And so that really kind of was a struggle for me because I was so sensitive and I was still into my people pleasing days a little bit. So I was trying to like find that balance between like getting out of the people pleasing stage and like doing what I wanted to do. But in regard to in regard to that piece of my life, middle school, maybe 9th grade-ish, I was just trying to find my balance. I was freshman class president as a freshman in high school. And I don't want to talk about these accolades because honestly, accolades don't make you who you are. Like you shouldn't be confident because you were freshman class president. But I just say these things because I was just trying to find like my rhythm. I was trying to find where I felt comfortable. You should feel confident in yourself regardless. You don't have to have any type of accolade, but you should love who you are and be confident in who you are because there's only one you. And it's important to just find the things that you like, find the things that make you happy, find the things that make you look pretty in your eyes. Because I think the physicality is also important too. So yeah, that's where I was in middle school and high school. I was just trying to find the balance between not so much people pleasing and just figuring out like what's Kristen's path.
And so for the people pleasing, like what did that look like for you at that time? How did it affect your thinking? Like what did you end up doing or not doing? Like what was that people pleasing mindset or world at that time?
It was more so like it involved like peer pressure. So this is so childish, but I remember in high school I was around my friends and everyone was cussing at that in those times. So like I was trying to like curse and stuff at first, but I'm like it didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth, so I stopped doing that. What else? I was just kind of trying to fit in with like the fads and the trends as far as like what people wear and things like that. And I was always in like honors and like AP classes, so I really was just trying to keep my GPA up because I went to it may as well have been a private school, but the average GPA was like a 4.5, 4.6. So I was just trying to continue to like strive amongst the best. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Like I said, I knew that I wasn't around people that looked a lot like me, but I was just I was trying to find what made me feel comfortable in the midst of where I was. And that was basically it. So like, yeah, cursing, I was like, no, this is not me. Just keeping up with the fads and trends, and which is kind of normal I feel like a lot of people do that. And yeah, just trying to keep my grades up, and that was basically it. Because that was pressure too, because I was around a lot of people that were very academically inclined. So
yeah. Well, that's a good standard to be holding yourself to. So what advice would you give to someone now if they're like really into people pleasing? Like if they are just like, I feel stuck, like what advice would you give?
I would say, one, find the root of why you're people pleasing. Like, what is it? And then also, who exactly are you trying to please? Like, in regards to people, are they your friends? Are they like a more popular group? Or like, what is it? And then also, what are you gaining from people pleasing? Like, what is that? What does that reward look like for you?
Yeah.
And then I would say, I guess it depends on what your response is, but I guess all in all, when you answer those questions, it's important to think about if those people happen to move and they weren't at their school anymore, or if something happened to them and they weren't there, then what? Like, what does that mean now? How do you respond now? Do you find some other people to please, or, you know? And then I want you to look back and think, okay, so what really is my reason? Is it really worth it? Because people are temporary. And that's kind of what I was saying in my video. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, my dad passed away, temporary. You know what I mean? So it's not about people are going to turn your backs. Like, no, people are temporary. So you really have to know who you are, because you can have a good image and you can be known for this and that, and people can think you're this or whatever. And then a rumor starts, and then people start to turn their backs, and your friends start to act like they're not your friends anymore. So it's just very important to know who you are and do the things that make you happy, do the things that make you feel happy, feel pretty, feel at peace, because people are temporary, and it gets very dangerous when you start putting your trust and your confidence in other people.
Mm-hmm. And I think when people hear like you saying people are temporary at first, it can be like, oh, like, you know, kind of harsh.
Yeah.
But the way you mean it isn't a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's
yeah.
not.
It's like you're not saying it to be like blunt or rude or like grim.
Yeah. Or bitter. It's not bitter. I don't mean it that way.
Yeah. But you're saying like, hey, like if you put all of your focus and attention and like regard for yourself on other people, they're going to let you down at some point.
At some point.
Because people are imperfect.
Imperfect. Yep.
And so I love that you brought that up like now, and I love that you brought it up in the video you did, because it's so true. Because as a confident person, you need to be, in a sense, self-sufficient in where you get your worth and your value. So I'm going to be a mom in January.
Oh, congratulations. January what? Do you know what date? Or you probably, I don't know if it'll fall.
The due date is January 17th, but we'll see what happens. Okay. But like, if I decided to get my worth from being a mom or being a wife, or, you know, with the relationships we're attached to, at some point, my husband's going to let me down. At some point, like at work, like my coworkers are going to let me down. At some point, other people are going to let you down. And so when you're in your own confidence and staying in your own lane and staying in your own world and not people pleasing, I loved all the questions you had to ask ourselves about people pleasing. Like that was so thorough. I'm like, we need to go back and make a worksheet out of that. But when you ask yourself, okay, why am I doing this? Like, why am I like, and I love you said, what happens if they move away?
Yeah.
if they go, like we can't control other people. And that's so true, because we can only control what we're doing and how we're feeling and what's going on in here.
Yeah.
And so it's funny the way you talk about it, because you're like, yes, people pleasing. I was into this. This was my life.
Yes.
And then you just kind of switch like, oh, but then I started doing this and this and this. And then I started seeing like myself this way. And I'm like, what happened in the middle? What, like, was there a moment or like a memory or a friend that was like, hey, like, how did you find yourself? How did you start valuing your opinion of yourself and valuing your things? Like, what were some things that happened there?
That is a great question. Okay, let's see.
And it could be big things or it could be little things like that you started to do that goes, oh, okay, like I like who I am. I'm comfortable in my own world. Like, because it was this jump, it sounds like. But I know, like, Instagram's not the full story. YouTube's not the full story. Like, what are the little tiny key points in between?
I would say, okay, that's a great question. I would say, so there was a point in time when I was freshman class president, and people were making up rumors that I was paying, like I was using my dad's money to pay for votes.
Okay.
So people would come back to me like, Kristen, are you paying people? Like, oh, can I have $20? And I was like, what? So I would say, like, in that moment, I kind of realized, people are going to say what they want to say. And I can't control that. It's out of my control. So, and I can say, like, a part of me, and this is kind of going to sound wrong, but a part of me, I'm nice. I'm a nice person. I've always been a nice person. I don't really bother anyone. I'm not really in drama or anything like that. So I kind of liked the drama aspect of it because I was like, oh, I've never been in this before. So, like, maybe I'm doing something right. Because, people say, like, oh, if you have haters, you're doing something right, which I don't necessarily agree with that. Because you can still be really nice and not have haters and still be doing excellent in whatever you're doing. So anyways, that was an incident where I was like, okay, Kristen, people are going to say what they want. They're going to think what they want. They're going to do what they want. And so that helped me, like, kind of put people on the back, not on the back burner, but it helped me not really care so much what people thought. And it didn't make me really want to people please anymore. Also, I can say this was kind of another, like, I guess accolade, if you will. But whenever I was a freshman in high school, I made the varsity basketball team, but I was not good at basketball. I was very defensive player, very athletic. I was the most athletic one on the team, but I really wasn't the best basketball player. But with me working with my dad and throughout the summer of freshman year into, like, the year of my sophomore year, I got a whole lot better. And all my teammates were like, whoa, Kristen, like, you got a whole lot better. And so that kind of helped me. That was just kind of a testament to working hard and work hard. Don't worry about what people are thinking. Don't work hard to see people's reactions to you working hard. Work hard for you. Work hard because it's what you want to do. And it felt good that people recognized it, but that wasn't why I did it. Also, just being at my church. So church also influenced my confidence as well. My dad was a pastor after he played professional basketball, so I was like the what is it called? Preacher's kid, whatever. But I love to sing. I love to play the piano. I love to I love to show off my talents. I love to sing, but I love to just spread God's energy. And I was a part of, like, the plays at church, and I was a part of the praise team, and I was a part of Vacation Bible School. So that really helped me with my people skills, and it helped me really tap into skills that really made me happy. And I knew that I was good at them as well. So that helped my confidence a lot. I think that kind of bridges the gap as well between just, like, playing basketball and learning about, like, rumors and learning how to respond to them, and also being at my church, being around my church family, being around people that I knew loved me and had my best interest at heart. That really boosted my confidence as well and helped me to just, think about the things that make me happy. And I may not fit in that much at school, even though I was freshman class president and I was a part of these things. I didn't really fit in at school, and I knew that. But I knew that, that's okay. And I still know who I am. And those things help me, I guess, get to know myself a little bit better. Yeah. If that makes sense. I hope that bridges the gap good.
Yeah. Well, it sounds almost like you were in two worlds in a sense.
I was.
People probably looked at you at that time being class president like, oh, she's so popular. She has it all together. Like, she's like, obviously you must have been confident in some way then, because people put their confidence in you, so they must have believed in you for something.
Yeah.
But then in another sense, you were still developing like your own opinions of yourself and developing like, oh, I'm starting to like myself now. So it's kind of funny that you can be in two worlds at the same time. And it's like two parts of yourself.
Yeah, it is.
I started going to church in high school, and I was in like leadership, and we had like clubs at school like FCA, and we had another one called Campus Life. And I didn't know it at the time, but it was actually really developing my public speaking skills, because like you'd go up and you'd start facilitating a game for the icebreaker, or you'd start like, hey, morning announcements, or for the leadership teams, we would be organizing events. And it's funny looking back now, because I'm like, oh, like God was showing me, okay, you're going to do this and you're going to do this. And like the party planning skills that I learned from leadership, I've put on my own workshops and my own events. And it's funny looking back now, because God's like, yeah, like I knew that was happening. But then like, as a high schooler, you have no idea how what's happening then is going to work for your good, work for your life. And it's really cool looking back. And I'm sure you can relate in the same way. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. So church was a big confidence builder for me too, like big time.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. And so something that like for me happened at the beginning of this year is I was looking at everyone else on Instagram, on their Instagram stories. And in a sense, I felt like I was going into other people's worlds, right? Like, oh, here's Lauren. She always posts pink stuff and she posts about her daughter. Like I go into her world. And then I go into my other friend. Oh, here's Kate. She's really holistic and crunchy. I'll go into her world. And I felt like I was going into all of these different worlds, but I wasn't spending enough time in my own world.
That's good.
And so that's kind of a concept I've been thinking about this year, especially as we've had more time to be in our own worlds.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, of course it's been hard, but like, because we've had to pull away from people so much this year, there has been a lot more time to be in our own place, in our own world. So for you, like, what are some things that you've done to enhance your world, or for you to enjoy your world, or like, how have you gotten to know yourself and your world in that way?
I love that. I think for me, okay. Preparing for medical school is very stressful, because really the MCAT is the most stressful thing. Okay, so I decided to retake the MCAT in September. And quarantine didn't really start until after that though. Okay, so I guess that doesn't answer the question. I was going to say I was studying a lot for the MCAT, and oh no, it kind of does, because it started in March. So yes.
Things got crazy at the end of March. Like really crazy.
Yes. So during that time, I started to study for the MCAT again. And I got so busy. Mental health is so important, but I got so busy that I had to take a leave of absence for my job, because there was no way that I was going to be able to work and study at the same time. I had paid for this course with a tutor, and I decided, I'm going to give this my all for these next 3 months. And so I was doing that until September. And so I didn't really have much time for myself. Since I took a leave of absence, I would go work out and have that time. But for the most part, I was studying. And during that time, that's what I was doing. And whenever I finally finished in September, I was just working. And so I kind of found myself having a little bit more time. And that's when I decided to make start a YouTube channel. And I was just taking people through. And I think I started the YouTube while I was studying for the MCAT. So I was doing this. This was like ongoing. And that's kind of why my channel, I kind of like my channel. I like my channel because a lot of people that I see on YouTube when it comes to medical school, they've already done it, and they're kind of just talking about how this is what I did, but I'm actually taking you through my life. And this is what I'm going through right now in real time. This is not like I've already done it. So if I'm struggling, if it's news to me, it's news to you. And I kind of like that about it, because it's very vulnerable. And we're going through it together. I'm creating a community where we're going through it together. The class of 2021, like we're going through it together, or 2025 rather. And so the YouTube really helped me kind of get in tune with myself. And I also feel like throughout college, I was a track and field athlete, and I studied very hard. I was an exercise science major, biology minor. So I really put my all into those things. And I didn't really have time to, in my head, I didn't have time to really dress up and like get cute and like make, like do, I don't know, just take the time to really take pride in my appearance, because I really was just on the track, working out, or in my books. I really did not take the time that I wanted to really just enhance, not necessarily enhance, enhance my appearance and just take pride in it and like have fun. And so during this time, now that I'm out of school, I still love to work out, but now that I'm out of school and I'm working, I really wanted to take the time to just love on myself and appreciate my physical appearance and do the things that made me happy. Try different hairstyles, get lashes, try different makeup, like just do different things, because I never did that. And YouTube was a gateway for me to do that, so I could get cute on camera and like just enjoy that whole aspect on top of connecting with people. So YouTube definitely helped me just get more in tune with myself as well as connect with other people.
Yeah, I love that. It's amazing that we can connect with so many people like from all over the world.
Yeah.
And I've made internet friends with people like in completely different time zones, other parts of the country, and it's like the world is really big, but in a sense, it also feels really small.
Yeah.
And we're in such a unique moment where we can go through experiences together. Like you can document your journey of taking the tests and like going through everything to become a doctor. Like where before, I mean, you wouldn't really know what was going on with someone unless you sat down for dinner with them or sat down for coffee. Like before, we wouldn't be able to have our message shared with so many people on such a wide scale. Like at the same, like you say it once and then however many people can hear it.
Yeah.
And like, it's a double-edged sword, because it's like, you want to make sure you're putting out good stuff that will help people and empower people. But at the same time, it's like now more than ever, we can connect with more people than ever before. And I think like that, it's so cool. Like
it's powerful too. It's just, I love it.
Yeah. And so I love what you're saying, like about the getting ready and like focusing on your physical appearance too. I think a lot of people get confused with confidence. Like the first thing that kind of comes to mind is kind of like the physical appearance, how someone looks, how they walk, how they talk, like that kind of thing. And of course it is that, but it's also like you first have to have the mindset, which you totally do. Like you have the mindset established, and then you can have fun and trickle into the hairstyles and getting your nails done and getting eyelashes. Like, of course, like prioritize your mindset, but then do the things like if you feel cute. Like if someone's listening to this and they're like, yeah, but I don't know if I'm worth like the $25 to like buy that makeup item.
Yes, you are.
What would you, can you give them a little pep talk? Like if that person is listening.
Okay. You are. I mean, look, you know, your body takes care of you every day. Your body helps you get around to work. Your body helps you digest food. Your body helps you do so many things. You have to treat yourself, you know. It's just a great way to repay yourself. And I think that when you're working, you know, real life is already, it's hard. You know, I've only been a year and a half into this. It's hard. And it's so important for your mental health to reward yourself. Like, be proud of yourself. I don't care how small the milestone is or whatever you're going through, you're getting through it, whatever it is. So I think that it's so important to reward yourself and just, you know, pat yourself on the back, give yourself a little encouragement, because you can't, it's just so cliche, but you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's just so important, that little bit, that hour of even a nap, or, you know, that hour of you getting your feet done, or whatever it is, that can help recharge you into doing something else, or that can help just recharge your spirit into just you being a more happy and lively person. So you definitely are worth it. You are worth it. You're here. your body takes care of you. You have to take care of your spirit and your soul. And sometimes that does mean a little bit of self-care. Nothing's wrong with that. You have to have balance.
I love that. I love that I love that you're saying your body takes care of you. Because this last year I've been kind of looking at food and eating, and it's very easy to get a toxic mindset with like our diet culture going. Like it's a whole like mousetrap. Yeah. But like, kind of looking at food like, no, thank you for nourishing my body. Thank you for taking care of me.
Yeah.
And like personally being pregnant these last like 8 months, I've been looking at food in a different way, because it's like, wow, this soup or whatever, like this is going to nourish my body, and then it's going to nourish baby. Like looking at food like, okay, this is a blessing. This isn't something that I need to like restrict or like punish myself over. Like, how cool is it that we get to eat? Like, how cool is it that it can give us energy and focus and excitement sometimes? If it's really tasty. And so I love what you're saying your body is taking care of you. So like respect it. Like
it's
okay. Like I feel like a lot of women can look at themselves and be like, oh, there you are again. Like,
for sure.
You again.
We can be hard on ourselves, but you have to change your mindset. You have to change your mindset. And also if you want to change, that's a whole other conversation. But if you want to change something, if you want to be better, you have to do better. But that's a whole other thing.
Well, we can talk about that. Like, what does that mean?
I just think, I think we're hard on ourselves. But I think we just want the best for ourselves and for others as well. But I think that with that, you have to have some sort of balance. So like I said, and like you said as well, like I do have confidence, but I have a track record that has helped me increase my confidence. Whatever I want, if I want something, I'm going to get it. I'm going to work to get it. And when you're working to get something, you have to have a plan in order to be effective and in order for you not to have a stressful experience. So in order for you to be better, you have to do better. And whenever you do better, that involves planning. How are you going to get better? In 3 months, I think what does my pastor say? Something about think in years, dream in decades. It's some quote. I have to get the quote. But you have to plan out what you want to do. A lot of people, they plan something and they want to get it done by 3 months or 2 months. And it's like, no, well, plan for a year. If you get better by 1% every day, after 100 days, you're Kristen 2.0, you're Sarena 2.0. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you're getting better. So it's important to plan if you want to be better. Plan how you're going to get better. And give yourself enough time and a realistic goal to be able to do that, whether it be weight, whether it be mental health, whether it be like, making extra time for yourself.
Yeah. And well, and I think that's a great diving board, because 2021 is almost here, right? We're like maybe 2 weeks. We're very close.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about 2021, my goals for next year. And this thing about you have a softness and a grace, but then you also have like, we are getting this done, like a fierce. So you're gentle, but you're also like, we are getting this done. Like you're kind of like a tornado, like you are coming through and you are getting, like, we are working on this.
Thank you.
It can be hard to find the balance. Like for me, I found it's hard to find the balance between being gentle on myself and being soft on myself, and like, okay, no, you actually said you were going to get this done, so we need to get this done. Have you experienced, like, do you know that, have you seen that about yourself?
I love that. Okay, I love this because I'm hard on myself. I'm very, very hard on myself. And so I have to, and my parents kind of picked up on that as well. And my sister, especially, my sister is always like, oh, you're just so hard on yourself. Like, you expect to do this and you just started, relax. Yeah. And so the reason why, I'm gonna tell you this, I started to become more patient with myself and more just softer with myself and just more nice to myself because I'm doing it for, as a bigger sister, I don't ever want my sister or brother to feel like I've been too hard on them and that their accomplishments are never good enough, or I don't want them to ever feel like, well, it's not going to be good enough for Kristen, or she's not as excited as I wish she was, or does she really think this is good because of how hard she is on herself? Mm-hmm. So that is, and I don't know. Lately, it's so funny that you ask that because I've been really thinking about that. Like, I don't ever want my sister or brother to think that. I don't ever want my kids to think that they're not good enough. I don't ever want that to happen. So I was like, well, it starts with me. I can't be like that on myself because they notice that energy. They notice it. And I don't want that energy to rub off on them. I don't want them to think like Kristen's just hard. She's this, she's that. She's tunnel vision all the time. And so that's really made me sit back and be like, okay, you have to be, have about, of course, you're a go-getter. I know who I am, but you have to be gentle. You have to be nice, and you have to reward yourself whenever you do good. Be happy, and then go back, give yourself a day or two, and then go back to the drawing board and do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Has it been hard for you to be softer on yourself?
No. Okay. So I'll catch myself. Like, whenever I notice, like, if I'm like, oh, I didn't do this, or if I start to kind of talk down, I stop myself. And because it's a habit to be that way. And I will say it's not hard to stop myself. And I think that especially after the MCAT, after I was finished with the MCAT, I was like, if I conquer this, like, I'm going to be so nice to myself. I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to, oh my gosh, like, I was like, this is it, because I deserve it. I think that was also another big turning point, like, in regards to me being nice to myself, because I worked so hard. I deserve everything coming to me. And that's how I want other people to feel. If you worked so hard for something, when it comes, you deserve it. You deserve everything. You deserve that and more, because you worked so hard. So I think that also helped me as well, along with just thinking about my brother and my sister and my future kids, like that as well, working towards this goal right here. And then once I actually go to the school that I want to get into, that's it.
Yeah, I love that. There's this book I'm reading right now. It's called The Power of Now. Oh. And it's talking about how in life we're constantly being challenged to look at the past, at what we did or did not do, like think about the past or think about the future. So worrying about something, stressing about something, planning something, trying to be in that moment. So either trying to be ahead or trying to be behind. And we're constantly being tugged both of those directions. But I mean, we can reflect on things and be happy, but ultimately you can't be happy if mentally you're in one of those places.
Yes.
Because you feel like your body's anxious because it wants to be there or there, but you can't go back or you can't speed up. And so when you're taking the time to be gentle with yourself and be kind to yourself, it's tapping into now.
Yes.
Like, okay, this is who I am. I just achieved this, or I just got this done. Like, I want to sit in this.
Yes.
I don't know if you're into the Enneagram or any of that.
What's that?
It's kind of like a personality assessment, but it basically, like, you take a test and then you get a number, and the number reflects like how you see the world.
Oh.
And kind of that kind of thing. And so for my number on the Enneagram is 7. And the 7's like major flaw is they're constantly looking forward to new things, but because of that, they can't be settled in what they are in right now. And so it's fun to plan and think and do, but if you're constantly forward and looking at what you're going to do, you'll never recognize that what you have, like, in your moment.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And so that's really powerful what you're saying. Like, yeah, no, I took that test and that was really hard. And I'm chilling. I'm grateful I did it. That was hard.
Yes.
And like understanding, yes, we did that.
Yes. I love that. And also, like, I did it. I'm not finished, but I'm not going to rush the process. I'm going to stay right here and be happy with what I've done right now. So yes, that's good. Basking in the present.
Yeah. Well, and that reminds me of the quote, it's the cheesy Pinterest quote where it's like, sometimes life is about the journey, not the end result.
But it is, though. It really is, because that's what shapes you as a person.
Yeah. Well, and if if you're constantly reaching and then you're never satisfied, and like the small milestones or the process of becoming, like just taking YouTube, for example.
Yes.
I'm sure you know, you need 1,000 subscribers to be monetized.
Yes.
And the challenge could be like, as you're building, just never being satisfied. Oh, I got 1 subscriber. Oh, like that, and being mad about it instead of being like, thank you for coming into my world.
Yes, exactly. That's me. That's what I have to say. Because I've definitely, that's how it is. And sometimes I'm like, well, what if I had started right whenever I got into school, and I would have probably had this more subscribers, because I'm kind of in a stalling phase. So now I'm like, there's nothing exciting, and it's like, Kristen, stop, because you're doing the right thing, and you're reaching people. People are emailing you, they're reaching out. You reached out to me, like you're reaching people, and at the end of the day, nothing good is gonna happen like at the snap of a finger. Yeah. And if it's for you, it'll be for you. The people that you're gonna meet, like, you're supposed to meet them. So relax, have fun, and it'll come. Just be consistent.
Yes. Okay, so we've talked about being soft, we've talked about being gentle. Now let's lean into more of the harder, focused mindset, kind of a little bit more masculine energy, like we are getting this goal done.
I love that you said that. Yes.
Yeah, and I think because we're getting closer to 2021, people's mindsets are kind of shifting more towards goals. Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be really cool if you walked us through how to set a goal, and then like the actual steps to reaching that goal, because you've set many goals and you've reached many goals yourself. So that's why I'm like, okay, teach us.
Let's see. Okay, so how to start a goal. I would say okay.
Well, and can you give us an example? Like it could be starting a YouTube channel, or like whatever specific goal you can think of.
Okay. So I would say whatever your goal is, or whatever it is you're trying to reach, where does that fall in your life? Like, how's that prioritized? So if you have kids, if you have a job, if you have another business or anything like that, like where does that fall? And also how important is that goal to you? Is that going to affect you emotionally? Is it going to affect you financially? How is it going to affect you? So I figured that out first. And then I would think about, what are my resources in order to attain these goals? Do I need to start networking? Do I already have the people in my life to help me with, whether it be advice, whether it be like equipment, whether it be whatever it is? And then I would see, okay, if I don't have the resources, how much is it going to affect me financially or is it going to, how much time will it take me to get these resources? And so I would think about that. And then after that, once I have all of my resources set, I would create a realistic goal. So even for the 𝐓𝐀, I was unrealistic the first time, but the second go around, I gave myself a time limit. Okay, so I have 3 months. What am I going to do every single day? Mm-hmm. Now, I had the time to do that. Not everyone has time to do that. So I will come up with a frequency plan. Am I going to do it every day? Am I going to work towards my goal every day? Am I going to work towards it every other day? Am I going to work towards it once a week, twice a week? How can I do that? How can this realistically fit into my schedule? Once I figure that out, I'm going to think about, okay, so what am I going to do every week? So if you're going to start a YouTube channel, come up with 50 ideas for 50 videos, because, that's what you're going to need. You're not going to start off with everybody knowing who you are. They're going to ask about your routine. It's not going to happen. So you have to get things together yourself. So, okay, plan this. I'm going to do this on Friday. I'm going to do this on Monday. I'm going to do a video about, the 𝐓𝐀 on Sunday. Like, think about that. And also, yeah, that was good. So yeah, your frequency, how often you're going to do it, and then different ideas on what you're going to do for each time that you're going to meet with yourself about working towards your goal. And also I think it's good to have checkpoints. So once you've come up with your ideas and the different things that you're going to do, it's important to have different checkpoints depending on like how long your goal is spread out. So if it's a year, maybe every 2 months or every 3 months. Okay, where are we? Did we say is this where I thought I was going to be? And if I'm not where I thought I was going to be, let's backtrack and let's figure out what did I do wrong so I don't make the same so I don't have the same habits for the next 3 months whenever I meet again for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's really good. And also having a support group that will support you through your goals and help you and help encourage you. I really wasn't going to start a YouTube this April. I think I started in April or May. My friend encouraged me to do it. She's so encouraging. She lifts me up so much. I could stand to be a better friend, honestly, but she was like, no, like, let your story out. Like, let people know. Who cares that you're holding yourself back? You're in your own way. And so it's so important to have a group that just helps keep you encouraged, because it's not going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah. I feel like we need a workbook or a worksheet to go along with it.
Yes.
I'm like, wait. Okay. So first of all, I love the thoroughness. Like, yes, I appreciate that. I'm sure anyone watching the replay or watching now is like, okay, whoa, pause. And the benefit of YouTube is we can pause and take notes for when the replay is up.
Yeah.
A problem I see, because I'm all about New Year's, like goal setting, like that is my jam. But a problem that happens a lot is like this goal, lose 15 pounds, but then they never get into the thorough questions that you just talked about. Yeah. What you're saying, the commitment, how often are you going to do this? What are you going to do? And then you even went as far as to say like checkpoints, like how do you know when you've gotten it?
Yeah.
But it's really fun to focus on like the sexy part of goals, like skinnier, like gross, like those are more sexy to when you see that picture, you're like, yes, I want that. But you have to actually like, here's Kristen, guys. She does things, she achieves her goals, and this is what she does.
Yes.
Right. This morning I was studying about how important it is to set the right type of goals. So an outcome-based goal would be like, I want to make $5,000 this month. But a process goal would be what you can do to make that happen. What process can you commit to make that happen? Yeah. You can't always control, like if people are paying you however much money, but you can control if you're making a sales call, or you can control if you're trying to sell clothes on Poshmark.
Yeah.
You can control if you show up to work or not.
Yes.
So yes, have the big goals. Have the goals where you want 10,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can't control if someone clicks follow or not.
Right.
But focusing, I mean, and you mentioned it, you touched on it, but I'm just kind of diving in a little bit deeper. What process can you commit to? Maybe if it's the Instagram example, posting multiple times a week, committing to posting. Like you can control that. You can control if you show up or not on stories. You can control what can you actually do to reach your goal. And I just love all your specifics for your
point. Yes, I love that. Yes. Because even that relates to YouTube. I can't make people subscribe.
Yeah.
I can continue to post bomb content that I know is going to help people. And I know I can make good thumbnails and come up with apps that are going to help me get people's attention. And I can still continue to look nice and present myself well. And like I said, just good content and comment and like the people's other comments and interact. I can continue to do that. And I can be consistent at that, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's easy to become apathetic. Like, oh, well, I'm trying so and it's easy to, I'm trying so hard and no one's following me or no one's, I'm doing so. And it's like, but are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you be doing more?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a bit more emotional. It sounds like.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah.
So I could switch into the boo-hoo, feeling sorry. Oh, well, maybe your stuff just isn't good. Mm-hmm. But it's like, if you're a confident person and you have places to go and things to do and people to see, you're trying to go somewhere. You have a vision, right? You're trying to be a doctor. You have a vision. You are going somewhere. And we have to look at what we're doing and the effort we're giving towards those goals without so much emotion sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very attached to what we want to do and our visions and our goals, but sometimes like you got to ask, like, did you actually try your hardest? Like, could you have made a better thumbnail?
Yeah.
You have to be honest with yourself. You can't just be so soft on yourself. I'm speaking to myself, basically.
Good. Yeah.
So looking at 2021, where are you going? What are you doing? This is kind of, we're getting close to our wrapping up, but I just want to know, what is your vision? And we can hold you accountable. And and plus, I just want to know.
I would say, and I'm gonna try to keep this short, but I'm gonna say that in 2021, I'm already starting to make these changes now. I'm not going to let medical school stop me from doing the things that I want to do. So I call myself your fit doc, because I love fitness and I love to work out. I'm a personal trainer. I mean, I work in a hospital right now, but I do personal training, and I really want to jumpstart my brand somehow. And I just want to get involved in like some different types of ways to work out, whether it be like hip hop or step boxing or different things like that. And so I'm going to push myself to create my own videos and create workout videos and create some content in order for people to enjoy and to get people to work out. And I don't know where that'll take me. I do plan on creating a website and things like that and really just getting into it. But a lot of times I've let medical school kind of hold me back. Like, oh, you're going to be going to medical school in 6 months, so why would you start this? Or what if you don't have time? And so I'm like, no, I want to do the things that make me happy. This makes me happy. This is my release. So even if, when I'm in medical school, I know that like you have to have a release. You have to do something to make you happy. And this is what this is. Connecting, working out, doing it at the same time, connecting and working out with people. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm planning to do. Really just reaching deeper into myself and pushing myself to create more content to really jumpstart this brand that I'm trying to create. And so those are my plans for 2021. And I'm not going to let medical school stop me from doing that.
Yes, I love that. Well, and you're chasing an ambitious goal, but you're saying, no, like I can have multiple dreams and goals at the same time. Like I don't have to choose.
Yes.
And I feel like as women, sometimes we feel like we have to choose.
Yes.
Just me being married and then going to be a mom.
Yeah.
You can see me a certain way, but it's like, I don't want to choose. I want to do all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so props to moms, because like, I don't know how I'm going to be, but that's a lot of hats, and you don't want to feel, guilty, or you don't want to feel, I don't know how, but just props to you guys.
I don't know either. We'll see when we get there. Okay. So for anyone who has been watching or is catching up on the replay, and they just need like a final word of encouragement, what advice would you give them to get overcoming people pleasing or stepping into their own world or reaching their goals? Like what advice would you give them to just mull over and hang on to this next week?
I would just say, you wake up with you go to sleep with you. You are with you 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. And so you really have to prioritize getting comfortable with who you are and loving who you are, because life is short. I know that firsthand. And it's just so important to, I'm sorry if you hear my brother and sister in the background. They're being loud, but it's so important to be comfortable with who you are, because you are all you have at the end of the day. And you are good enough because you are here. And, life is too short not to be happy, not to do things that make you happy. You are here, like you are here. And so it's just so important to, like I said, bask in that and make yourself happy. Life is just too short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I think we all need to carry more of that in our daily life.
Do what makes you happy. Life is too short.
Okay. And so if someone's watching and they're like, okay, I really like Kristen. Like I want to be in her world. I want to get to know her better. Like, where would you tell them to go to be your friend?
I'm big on YouTube and Instagram right now. So Instagram, I'm trying to be more consistent as well, but YouTube and Instagram, like those are my two main I guess, social media platforms right now. So my Instagram is YourFitDoc, YourFitDoc. And then my YouTube is Kristen Simone, which is my name right here. So yes, comment, watch some videos. Just if you don't even want to watch videos, you just want to talk, that's fine. I don't even care. I love it. You know what I mean? Email too. My email, I believe, is in a lot of it's in my YouTube, but should I say it right now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's YourFitDoc, the number 1 at gmail.com.
Okay.
So yes, plenty of people come and ask me advice about medical school and things like that. If you want to email me, I'm down for an email too. That's fine.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Kristen, just for like opening up your world and setting aside the time. I know it's a busy week, but I feel like people get encouraged from hearing stories. And sometimes when we hear other people's stories, we hear parts of our own stories inside. And so that's why I think it's really special to find women like yourself and be like, hey, like, how did you do it? What did you do? Because without realizing it, we can actually help other people as well. So thank you for coming in and
thank you so much
being vulnerable.
Thank you. This video, can I like see it again? I can rewatch it.
Yes. So once it's done processing on YouTube, I go back and I add timestamps.
Okay.
And everything that we talk about, there's a timestamp, and then as well as like your information you just listed, it'll be at the bottom of the description. So a lot of times people come back and watch the replay because sometimes, you know, especially right now it's Christmas week, so people might be shopping and last minute, but when people have time, they come back and rewatch. And so it's really special.
Yay. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your Christmas. It was so good speaking with you.
Yes. Okay. Bye.
Bye.